What's up, everybody? It's the Rogue in Disguise North American community contributor for World of Warships Blitz, and if this is your first time here or been here for a while, well, make sure you smash that like button, you hit the subscribe, and you turn that bell to all to catch all that we do for World of Warships Blitz. Oh, but yes. And today we're going to be talking about the 4 ships that are hitting the waters of World of Warships Blitz once again. And honestly, guys, these are really super cool ships. Just to give you an example, we're going to be first talking about Ragnarrok, which is being captained by Arthas the Cold, which is a champion for Khorne. And Khorne, if you're not familiar with Khorne, he has a multitude of different names and is also known mostly as the Blood God, the Lord of Skulls, the Lord of Rage, the Lord of Blood, the Taker of Skulls, Karnath, the Chaos God of War, Hatred, Rage, Wrath, Blood, Martial Honor, Strength, and Murder. I mean, honestly, the list goes on and on and on for Khorne. So, Arthas the Cold is a champion for Khorne. Understand who Khorne is right now. And Arthas is one of those champions of Khorne. And honestly, he has got a good ship that portrays well for being a precise killing vessel right here. It fits perfectly. Absolutely perfectly for Arthas the Cold. Because the Amagi class battleship, honestly, is a very good ship with this dispersion being very precise on that. Besides having precise aiming on the original classic tier tree version, or the tech tree version of it, we can expect this version to be really good because it has a unique ability that you're only going to get 2 charges of, but it's really good. Increases max speed by 5%. Increases main gun accuracy. If the Amagi wasn't accurate enough, they're going to even make it more accurate and make the reload increased by 10%. Making it faster by 10%, making it more accurate by 10%, and it's for a solid minute that this ability works. Making it really good. You're going to get about 2 to 3 salvos if you're doing it right on the reload, which is actually kind of cool. But you also get Sonar 1 as well. This is, honestly, Ragnarok is a good version of it. I think it's a good, fun ship. I've played it a dozen of times. And honestly, guys, I can't go wrong with it. Cross the Dorn, let's jump right into it. We know it as an Odin-class vessel. And it's being piloted or captained by Augustin. And Augustin is a Black Templar, which is the second founding of the most prestigious of the Imperium's Templars. As a matter of fact, he's a Black Templar. And the Black Templars are a no-joke elite force that can go on never-ending crusades. And just love the fact that they're on a crusade. Honestly, this is what Augustin's all about. Part of the Imperium, most distinguished battle group, as it were, being captaining the ship right now. See, the Black Templars aren't something to mess with, man. These guys stand like 9 foot tall in their body armor, or their powered body armor. Their weapon of choice is the bolter, which is a 70 millimeter cartridge. Not 7mm or 9mm, but 70 millimeter cartridge. Now, mind you, these guys are 9, almost 10 foot tall. Some of them actually reach up to 11 feet tall. They're genetically modified to be bigger, stronger, faster. These guys are no joke. If you look at Warhammer 40k all the way around, they call it the Grim Dark for a reason. And it's interesting backstories on everything. Then we also got Ignis here, being captained by Justinian Lyons. Now, this guy is a no-joke kind of guy. let me tell you. This guy's part of the Imperium, and his most popular role, if anything, as being part of the Naval Imperium, or the Imperium Navalis, or they got like 3 different names for the Imperium's naval force. And basically what he does is just pilots the ships from place to place that travels across the stars. And he's probably one of the most experienced spaceship fighter out there, traversing thousands of missions, it seems like. But his story is deep in background, if you can find it. It took me a minute to look for stuff, and even I went to Lexicanum. I went to various different sites in order to find out some of the information. I mostly found that these commanders aren't really part of the game, and they were just created for this game. But if you look at their factions are ridiculous. Now we're going to get into the ship Smasha here, and what we got is Grotmas Smart. Now Grotmas Smart is an orc. Now orcs in Warhammer 40k are probably the most interesting class or interesting faction that there is. You literally, if you get an orc on your planet or start getting invaded by orcs, you're in a whole lot of trouble, because orcs are stupid. I mean, stupid. I mean, like, they retain no intelligent class. And the smartest ones aren't that smart. So let's give you an example of what's up with orcs. Orcs in Warhammer 40k, if they believe something, it becomes true. Like, seriously. If they believe that their gun can shoot faster because they pulled the trigger faster, well, of course, naturally, the gun's going to shoot faster because they pulled the trigger faster. They believe in the word daka daka. The more daka daka, the better. And where do we get daka daka from? Well, it's the sounding of the weapon. It goes daka 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 daka. And we always need more daka daka. Right? So, orcs are extremely hard to get rid of, let alone battle. They absolutely are obsessed with fighting and going to war. They actually become physically ill if they don't fight something for an extended period of time. Now let's give you an example. They go like a week and a half without fighting, they actually become physically ill. One of the stories that I read about orcs is that whatever they think to believe is real, or whatever believe is real, it's real. It's one of their abilities. They were created with this ability, but they're unaware of this ability because they're so stupid. If they were smart and they knew this ability existed, they would be absolutely unstoppable, because they would literally will themselves to winning. They would just think they would win, and they would win. But here's the funny thing about it. They're too stupid to know that they have this ability, and it's really funny. For an example, this is absolute canon. Absolutely 100% truth. Orcs were on this one planet, and they were battling some Terrans, and a big group of them started running towards their enemy. And they're all screaming in unison, I'm a tank, 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 I'm a tank. And all the orcs that were screaming, I'm a tank, I'm a tank, I'm a tank, all combined and meshed in and turned into a tank so they could kill their enemy. Another example of orcs is that they were engaged again with some Terrans, and the Terrans ran out of ammunition. They couldn't shoot their guns anymore, so they started making the sounds of discharging their weapons at the orcs, and the orcs believed they were still getting shot at and still fell over and died because they thought they were actually getting shot, because orcs believe in something and it automatically comes true. Orcs are just the weirdest class entirely. Weirdest faction. And then there's a couple other classes that they haven't introduced that are even weirder than this. Honestly, there's a bunch of classes or factions in Warhammer 40k. These are just the 4 most popular ones out there that aren't as gruesome. I mean, the orcs are more funny than anything. They're probably like the silliest thing ever, but they're so uber good. It's mind-boggling. And what I just told you about orcs that are just insane. Of course, naturally, you got the long, dark history of the Imperium that spans over 40,000 years, dealing with the God Emperor. And that would take me days to explain about the God Emperor. It really would. But in a nutshell, the God Emperor is literally the ruler of the universe for the Terrans, or the human species in general. How the God Emperor came about is that over the course of history, he subtly and gently, at period times so that he thought he was going to be needed, and planned ahead and everything like that, because he was an immortal being, comes in at different points and times in the human history, from like World War I, from the time of Jesus. I mean, this guy has been around for a long time, all the way up to 40,000 years up into the future, where he sits upon his throne, his mechanized throne, where 1,000 psychers are sacrificed every day to keep him alive, because the God Emperor at this point is physically decaying, and there's only so much of him left, but they keeping him alive, and they have to sacrifice 1,000 psychers a day in order to keep him alive, so people can travel between star systems and different planets and everything. It's just insane. Just insane. And every one of these ships has a different ability. It's just insane, the story and the lore of Warhammer 40k. I just started reading into it, a lot of it, and honestly, it's a lot of material. This has been going on for quite some time. 40,000 years of war, mayhem. And honestly, guys, if you like dark tabletop games, this is the one to go with. Check it out. I'm not going to twist your arms about it, but these 4 ships are coming out, and honestly, their abilities, yeah, the skins, the camouflages, the commanders, screams Warhammer 40k from top to bottom. One of the most interesting collaborations that I've seen yet. And these, I think, are way better than any anime collaboration that World of Warships Blitz has done before in the past. And don't get me wrong, I like my anime. But this is some brutal carnage that any ship player would enjoy reading some of the dark carnage behind. And they call it the Grim Dark for a reason. I mean, dark history. Dark stuff. And it's actually cool. Not like super over embellished dark, but there's some lot of like whoa in it. Let me tell you. Check it out. Check out these ships. You want to understand what these play styles are like? They're amazing. They play exactly like their real counterparts in the game, or the tech tree versions of them, or the premium versions of them. They're good. We all know what a Vladivostok plays like. It plays really good. Now you throw that ability WOG on top of it, or WA on top of it, it's just going to make it uber. Uber. Some of them are limited. I don't know. But these ships, if you can pick them up, pick them up. I would. They're just uber badass ships. With these abilities on it, they're nothing like it with these abilities. And I think, honestly, some of them are kind of overpowered. But that's just my opinion. So if you like this video, smash the like button, hit the subscribe, and turn that bell to all to catch all that we do for World of Warships Blitz. Oh, but yes, until the next video, guys, don't do anything I wouldn't do twice.